Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit long way, long shit long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, we tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, I get the shit long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tori, I ain't playing games, just a little Tori. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello. What's up, Nick? Monique, welcome. Early birds, welcome. If you're new to the channel, hello. My name is LJ Young, and I am the founder of SMD. All right, SMD is not me. SMD is a family of people that believe what I believe, share my gift. I'm trying to get something to rhyme now. I can't find it yet, but it'll come to me. Anyway, to share my gift, and my gift is that I know capitalism is psychological, split into two parts, positive and negative. This is a mathematical fact, okay? So if you don't believe it, that means you don't believe math, right? And that's a psychological problem. If you don't trust the calculator, that means you have a psychological problem. It's like if I said, "Hey, 1 + 1 = 3," you would say something's wrong with him because that's not true. He has a psychological problem. Anyway, what I do is come here and I share my gift with this, and with this knowledge, I understand that there are people that live on the negative side of capitalism, and they're called debt slaves. Debt slaves don't know. The psychological part is debt slaves don't know that they live there. And you're probably thinking, who's the debt slave? Debt slaves are people that they can own things with no money of their own. They think they can buy a house with a mortgage. They think they get cars on sale after financing them for 84 months. They believe they can own a car with a car loan. Those are called debt slaves, right? They own nothing, but they believe they do. That's the psychological part. They all believe they're homeowners with mortgages when they can just open up the calculator, put in their mortgage payment minus their mortgage balance, and hit equal. That large negative number says you own nothing. That large negative number says you are owned. What kind of house can you buy with the amount of money you see on your calculator after you put in those numbers? Then how do you figure you bought the house today? There is no answer. Like, let me do this for you. So you might catch this video later if you think you're a homeowner with a mortgage, right? Open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. You see that large negative number? What kind of house can you buy with that? With the amount of money you see on your calculator, what kind of house can you buy? Then how did you buy the house you're living in today? That's what we call a glitch in the debt matrix. That's gonna make you pause. You're gonna be like, hey, yeah, how did I buy this house? Yeah, all you gotta do is figure that out. You figure that out, you'll get out the debt matrix. But if you believe it takes 30 years to buy a house, you'll be there in the debt matrix until you're dead. All right. Anyway, what I do, I bring people out of the negative side, because I was a debt slave once too, and I bring them to the positive side and help them participate in capitalism positively. Okay. And once you come over here, once you understand once you come over here, that's when the psychological part kicks in. But in order for you to reach to this point, you have to get to zero. Remember the number chart they all taught us in elementary school above the chalkboard in the classroom? 0 in the middle, negative numbers in red on the left, positive numbers in green on the right. Say like your mortgage is the only debt you have. Let's just say like that. And your mortgage is, let's say you have a balance of $300,000. That's a negative number, what I just showed you. So if you open up your calculator, okay, remember the chart that we just all learned in elementary school. We all learned this, right? When you open up your calculator and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and equal, you see that large negative number? Where on the number chart does that large negative number go? Way down there on the negative side. I mean, I don't even think you have enough paper. If you wrote it down on a piece of paper, it'd be too far. That's where you're at. You got to get all the way to zero then you get to the positive side. That's the only way you're going to know capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. That's the requirement. The requirement is you must own yourself. That's what zero means. Zero means you finally own yourself, because credit reports are owner ledgers. They just keep track of all the businesses that own you. Credit scores are reward points for staying in debt with your owners. That's it. So I help you come over here, own yourself, participate in capitalism positively, and be as rich as you wish. If your career is in financing, nobody will be able to mess with you if this is your career. If your career is in financing, taxes, accounting, nobody will be able to mess with you in that field. None of your peers will understand why you're so far ahead of them, why you're so far advanced above them, because they don't know that capitalism is psychological. That's the advantage you will have. Okay. And once you understand it all, you really see how it all works. Like, everything is debt slaves. You guys are taxes, cars, houses, money, gold, silver. Everything is you. Debt, student loan debt, which we're about to get into with the title of this video. What's up, ranting woman? Everything is you. Everything. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, this we're going to do. I had an article brought to my attention by SMD family member Andre. He had sent that to me earlier today, and we're going to read through it, because I think as a debt slave, you probably read this article and feel relieved. Like, oh yeah, I got some more room, which when in reality you have none. They're just putting you deeper and deeper in debt. But we're going to get into it. Let's get into it. I'm going to read this article to you slowly. I'm going to read it slow, so you can kind of, because I got to read in between the lines, because when they write articles like this, like, let me explain this to you 1 second. When you understand when you understand that capitalism is psychological, the psychological is also a language. But if you don't know that psychological exists, you also don't know this the language of the psychological is a language. You'll never know that, because you're in debt. The only way to know, you have to own yourself. All right. So let me add this to the stream. I'm gonna read through it slowly. I love it. Hey, Nick, I'm with you. I love it how they put the way they made the name like safe something. It's just crazy. Just to let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. Biden administration, I'm assuming Biden administration finalizes student debt safety net as repayment looms. Let's see. The Education Department finalized a 3-month grace period for missed payments. Wait, let me see. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. The Education Department finalized a 3-month grace period for missed payments once loans come due. Okay, I think I was reading that wrong because when I read it at first, it sounded like they were extending it 3 months, but they're not they're not saying that they're extending it 3 months. They're saying a 3-month grace period so they're going to allow you to miss 3 months of payments if you can't. Okay, so what I'm reading by this line is that the payments are going to resume on October 1st, but they're going to give you a 3-month grace period if you happen to cannot make your student loan payments. Wow. Wow. Okay, I see what they're doing there. That's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. So even though they're saying they're giving you a grace, are they saying they take it away? Nah, I don't see nothing about no fees being stopped. The Biden administration officials are devising plans to ease the sting of requiring tens of millions of Americans to resume paying their student loans this fall for the first time in more than 3 years. The Education Department in recent weeks finalized a 3-month grace period for missed payments once student loans come due in October. Oh, okay. So they're not saying the due date has been pushed. They're just saying it's still happening in October, but if you cannot make your payments for the first 3 months. So let's see what they're actually saying. Okay. And direct loan okay, wait a minute. Come to October. And direct loan services to be prepared to extend that flexibility for subsequent 90-day periods. According to two people familiar with the discussion. According to two people. Well, okay, why should we know about? Okay, whatever. Once interest accrual resumes on September 1st. What the fuck? Okay, hold up. They're saying several different things in this article, man. Okay, hold up. Okay, so they're gonna give you 3 months if you can't okay, the first payment is due in October. Once the first okay, it's payment due in October, but if you can't make it for the first 3 months, then you'll be required October, November, December, January. Okay. All right. But September 1st, the interest starts accruing on September 1st, because the first payment is due in October. And so that means, listen, September 1st, interest starts, period. Nothing stops that. That starts October. And then if you miss 3 months, even though you missed 3 months of payments, the interest is still accruing. Ooh, man. And what do you think debt slaves are going to do? Not pay for 3 months because they don't have to. That's why they tell you guys, because they know you guys are going to take it. They know you guys are going to do that. Woo, they're gonna let us, and they ain't really said anything of what the penalty is for missing. They're gonna give you a grace period. I don't even know what that means. Did they put a link there to even say that? What that means? Nope, not yet. Okay. It would continue to pile up even if, okay, they say it right here. Under the department's current plans, it would continue to pile up even if borrowers miss payments. That's what I thought. Okay. The policy, which has been dubbed internally as a safety net. See that safety net period. See, you guys like safe words. They do this shit smart, man. I give it to them. They use these words that sound like help. Absolutely amazing. Would prevent borrowers who fall behind on payments from getting dinged on their credit reports well into 2024, basically January. Okay, got it. Likely beyond the presidential election. Wow. Interesting. Pretty smooth. So crazy. I knew they were going to push it that far, but I just didn't know how they were going to do it. Because even though they give you a 3-month grace period, that's not an extension. Everything is starting September 1st. Beyond it would also prevent severely delinquent borrowers from suffering the consequences of a default until 2025. I don't know what that means. In addition, Education Department officials are preparing to unveil in the coming weeks and then swiftly implement the final version of President Joe Biden's new loan repayment program. Interesting, huh? The administration plans to promote that new income-driven repayment plan as a way for student loan borrowers to cut costs as monthly payments resume. Oh, so they want you guys. Oh, I see what they're doing. So they want you guys to put your student loan payments into that income-driven repayment plan where you make little to no payments at all, like $5 a month or some stupid thing. So you guys can keep it in there and stack interest on the full amount. You guys will never get out. Trapped until death. Wow. And then they disguise it as, not disguise it. If you guys don't trust math, I don't want to make it seem like the government's hiding or tricking you guys. If you don't trust the calculator, they're not tricking you. That's your problem. But let's see. Officials have rebranded the policy as the SAVE plan. You hear that, Nick? SAVE plan. They're gonna save you, debt slaves. They're gonna save you. You only can save yourself, debt slaves. And you know what's so crazy, debt slaves? You guys carry around your financial freedom in your pocket every day. It's called your calculator app on your phone. All you gotta do is use it. You don't need the president to help. You can help yourself. Saving on valuable education. According to what they say, let's read this slow. Officials have rebranded the policy as the SAVE plan, an acronym for saving on a valuable education. Wow. I wonder who got paid for that. Wow. It would have been cool to be at that meeting, because you got to remember, they probably threw up several ideas and they happened to pick this one. Okay. According to people familiar with the forthcoming regulation that would ditch the Obama era branding for this program, which would have been called Repay or Reva. Okay, yeah. Okay, in spite of our opponents' best efforts to sabotage our work to support what? Excuse me. In spite of our opponents' best efforts to sabotage our work to support student borrowers, we are fully committed to helping borrowers successfully navigate the return to repayment, an Education Department spokesperson said when asked for a comment on the. Okay. The deliberations within the administration over how to restart student loans have accelerated since Biden agreed to codify the end of pandemic-related freeze on student loan repayments as part of the debt ceiling deal he reached with the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy earlier this month. But looming large over the restart of payments is the Supreme Court's decision. Oh, okay. Expected any day on whether Biden can move ahead with outright canceling up to $20,000 in student loan debt. You know, debt slaves. Okay, let me tell you something, debt slaves. All right, it's fine and dandy if you have $20,000 in student loan debt, but if you have 50,000, 60, 100,000 that you haven't paid in 20 years, even if they took off $20,000, do you say like you had $100,000 in student loan debt, and Biden knocks off 20 if you qualify? You know, usually people with that much student loan debt probably don't even qualify for the 20,000. But anyway, they took 20,000 off your 100,000. When are you gonna pay off the 80,000? Never. They're gonna get all that 20 back in interest. Okay, they're gonna get it back. The administration argues it needs to reduce or eliminate balances for many borrowers to prevent a huge spike in delinquencies or default when borrowers are asked to resume making payments for the first time since. Well, you know what? They're trying to say that, you know, they're trying to say, hey, we're going to prevent, but that's going to happen, debt slaves. You guys are, once they put it this way, you guys have been financing so much stuff for over the last 3.5 years because student loan payments were not due. You guys are in deep trouble. It doesn't matter if the payments start now, October, January, you guys are not going to have the money, and they are going to have a spike in delinquencies. Nothing's going to prevent that. That's going to happen, okay? Listen, $20,000 or not, it's going to be a spike, okay? Yes, they do, Omanika. They want that interest, believe that. The White House is facing intense pressure from many progressives who don't want the administration to even entertain the idea of collecting payments until they've canceled a large swath of outstanding debt. The only acceptable order for operations is delivering student loan cancellations and then the return payment. The only acceptable order for operations is delivering student loan, okay, the 20,000, and then the return to so cancel the 20,000 and then put the rest of your balance into the repayment plan. Are you crazy, debt slaves? Debt slaves. Oh man, they are killing the game. Said Melissa Byron, a student debt activist whose organization, she probably in student loan debt. If you're a student loan debt activist, we the 45 million, we the 45 million, like we the people. No, you the people in debt. Okay, we the debt slaves and student loan debt has led demonstrations calling for debt relief outside the White House since the beginning of the Biden. You guys can stay outside the White House, debt slaves. What do you guys do? Once you guys cut the lawn and the trees while you're out there, the roof needs to be done too. I saw some weeds. I saw a picture of the White House the other day, and it looked like it had some weeds in it. Why don't you guys take care of that since you guys outside there? You can only free yourselves, debt slaves. You stop begging. It looks bad on you guys. Stop begging. Stop it. Republicans, meanwhile, they trying to do the Republican and Democrat thing. Let's see where they're going with this. Okay. Republicans, meanwhile, are stepping up to their criticism of the administration for what they view as slow walking efforts to completely end the pandemic related relief for student loan borrowers and require borrowers to repay their debts. Cool. Okay. That's what they got to do. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, the top Republican on the Senate Education Committee, blasted the administration's plan to avoid penalizing missed student. What? Blasted the administration plan to avoid penalizing missed student loan payments as a direct. Oh, so so the 3 months they're not going to penalize you, and they don't like that. Okay, they want that money. They're like, why are you giving those debt slaves a free ride for those 3 months? You know how much money that is? That's what they're saying, really. The debt ceiling law prohibited the administration from further extending the pause on student loan repayment, on student loan payment and interest beyond 60 days after June 30th. So they have a fallback to let you guys know that it's not a person. Hey man, we can't stop it anymore. We can't extend it anymore. It's in the debt ceiling law plan something. See how they take it away? First, the debt slaves are looking at Joe Biden, a person, President Joe Biden, a person. Save us, Joe, save us. And then there's an entity called the debt ceiling law, which is not a person, where you guys can't be mad at, you can't be mad at a law. Any well-meaning person would have assumed people were going to start paying back that which they owed. Debt slaves don't want to. Hey, debt slaves, they already know you guys don't want to pay back your student loan debt. They're using that. They already know you don't want to. They already know most of you can't. They already know most of you guys have accepted of dying with student loan debt. So they're just using that. That's called business. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not personal because it's your fault for not paying it back. They told you when you borrowed the money, they said you got to pay it back. That's what they said. Any debt you have that's non-bankruptable, that would be first priority on my list. That means you're not getting out from under that unless you pay it back. The people who owe these debts are going to be the ones confused and without guidance, Cassidy says. They are going to pay a price because the administration made a decision for the short-term political gain. So it's somebody else's fault. If you're confused, it's your fault. It's somebody else's fault if you're confused about your student loan debt. It's because of the administration is why you can't pay your student loan debt. It's because of somebody. No, it's because of you, debt slaves. Don't you know? Hey, listen, debt slave. Don't you guys know how you guys are purchased? You guys are purchased through student loan debt. Listen, you guys have never had any money. You didn't have any money for college when you was born. You definitely wasn't going to have the college money by the time it's time for you to go to college. They already knew that. So if they tell you your whole life you ain't going to be shit without going to college, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to go to college with no money. And guess what's going to be waiting for you there? Student loan debt, student loans, because I'm not against student loans. Let's make sure that's clear. I am not against student loans. But you got to pay them back. They're non-bankruptable. You know what that means? You're going to die with them if you don't pay it back. That's what non-bankruptable loans mean. Cassidy joined other Republicans, including the House Education Chair, blah, 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 is criticizing the Education Department. Everybody's blaming everybody, bloggity, blah, blah, blah. All right, blame, blamity, blame somebody, blame. All right. The department remains in constant contact with the servicers and will be in direct contact with borrowers before repayment resumes. Ooh, they're going to be contacting you guys soon. If they haven't already, I'm sure they're reaching out to you guys. Department's efforts to smoothly transition borrowers back into it. Okay. Education department officials for several years have told federal student loan servicers to expect to provide borrowers with a 3-month transitional period in which borrowers won't be penalized for missed payments, as Politico has previously reported. Let's click on that for a quick second. Let me see something. Because that's the same one, ain't it? That's the same one. No, that's a different one. Quietly restarted. Huh. Is that a different one? I'm not going to go into that one. All right. It's a whole nother long article. Got it. Interesting. In recent weeks, the Education Department issued a fresh directive to loan servicers about the plans. The latest directive calls for initial grace period of 90 days, but leaves open-ended precisely when that flexibility would end. According to people familiar with the plans, according to people, who is that? Officials told the student loan company that they should be. Okay, all right, that's it. You know what? They do you guys so. Let me tell you something. When Andre sent me that, Nick and I read it over, man, they do you guys so dirty. They're going to start the interest. Regardless of what happens, the interest starts on September 1st. Damn. What's up, Nisha? Luzon, Club Fortune. What's up? Ghost of Butterflies. That's crazy. Now, if you have student loan debt and you read an article, 3-month grace period, and if you feel relieved about the 3-month grace period, that means you're in trouble. If you're happy that they're giving you you won't hurt your credit if you don't pay for until January 2024, and you're happy about that, you're in financial trouble. That's what you are. You're a debt slave. If you went to college for 4 years and you've had your student loan for 20, I'm talking to you. If your student loan debt is your oldest debt out of all your debts, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, debt slave. You tired of being a debt slave? I know I would be. They just be abusing you. They're going to stack that interest. Look, listen, you guys don't even see what they're doing. When they offer you the 3-month grace period, guess what? They know you're going to take it. If you took it for 3.5 years, what's the extra 3 months? During those 3 months, the starting of September. So basically, you guys are not going to make your first payment until January. So from September to December is all interest on your loan balances. Until they figure out what the courts are going to do and this and that, you guys are paying. And then when it starts, you guys are going to put it in the repayment plan. They're killing the game. Do you guys know you're owned? You guys are owned. If you had to put it this way, if you had to actually wear a ball and chain around your ankle until you pay back your student loan debt, I guarantee you would come up with a plan to pay off your student loan debt. Guaranteed you would. Because can you imagine? Say like that was a requirement to wear a ball and chain around your ankle until you pay back the student loan debt. You think you would go on vacation? Hell no, you wouldn't. Everybody would know you're a debt slave because you got a ball and chain around your ankle. But you wouldn't have to worry about it because everybody that you went on vacation with, they would have a ball and chain too. So that might backfire in my face. Can you imagine the damage you would do to your car, getting in and out of your car, getting dressed, taking a shower? I guarantee you'd figure out how to pay that student loan debt off fast, ASAP. We say, Nisha, good evening, everyone. Thank God I paid my student loan off back in May. Congratulations. And it felt good to have the debt off of me. Congratulations for sure. That is most definitely a congratulations. Anybody paying off that student loan debt for sure. Which say, do you think forgiveness will happen? No, I don't think so. I don't think it'll happen. It's twofold. Even if they gave up 20, let's put it this way. Even if they gave up 20,000, people are still not going to have the money to pay off the rest. They're going to get it back in interest. Put it this way. You know how much interest they're going to make from September to December from people not paying their student loan debt? Man. I think everyone that took out a loan should pay it back, but I keep hearing how young adults were victims. Nobody's victims. Let me tell you something, young people. going to college. I'm not against student loan debt. I'm not. Student loans, excuse me, student loans. I'm not against student loans. If you go to college for 4 years, put it this way, if you go to college for 4 years, you give yourself a maximum of 4 years to pay it back. Maximum. 4 years. You go to college longer than that, you give yourself the maximum time to pay it back. Don't go over the amount of years. If you have this in your mind, you're going to college for 4 years, you got 4 years to pay it back. The likelihood of you going out to finance a car, go on vacations, finance some jewelry will most likely not happen. Yes, they are, Omanike. Exactly. They're stretching it out to make up for the losses, stretching it out for the presidential election something. Who knows how far they're going to stretch it? And check this out. If they can stretch, because I don't know I don't really follow the political stuff too much, but if they can stretch that so far to where a candidate says something about I'll get rid of student loans if you vote for me, guess who the debt slaves are going to vote for? The people promising to get rid of student loan debt. They fall for it every year. Every election they fall for it. They always fall for it. Debt slaves. They should be back on. They're coming back on people's credit reports. That's most definitely coming back for sure. That Luminoff, that was more honestly, and this is just my opinion. I think they did that on purpose so the debt slaves' credit scores will go up, so they'd be able to prove to finance more shit. That's what I believe. Because there is no other reason. I'm thinking nothing else makes any sense. That makes sense. They remove it from their credit report. Credit scores will go up. The debt to income ratio changes for the better. Approved for more car loans, approved for more house loans, approved for credit cards. They're approved. Isn't it amazing? Listen, that is amazing to watch what they do to you guys and how they do it. Absolutely, hands down. It's like I have a seat in the United States Stadium of America. You would look at social media and people, you would swear there's 45 million people with student loan debt, but if you get on social media, it looks like nobody has student loan debt. Yes, they do. Those are debt slaves. If you're following some financial person or some guru and they got student loan debt, you're following a debt slave. If you hired a tax professional, a professional accountant, and they have student loan debt older than their business or their career, you hired a debt slave who is a tax professional and a professional accountant. Say it like this. Say it like you hired somebody right now that does your taxes, okay? Professionally, not your buddy, not your friend down the street. That's why now it makes sense why nobody has to be licensed to do other people's taxes and shit. Now it made sense to me. I was like, how come somebody down the street can just do people's taxes? I never do. Now I get it. I totally get it. Because the numbers have to match. And debt slaves, if you hire somebody that doesn't understand how it works, that's your problem. Like if you have somebody do your taxes because they can get you back the biggest return, but in order to get that return, they lie on your tax return. Do you think the IRS is going to go after the person preparing the taxes? Probably eventually, but guess who they're coming after first? You. They're coming after you first. They're not going to accept, hey, I didn't do my taxes. I had so-and-so do them. No, that's your problem. That's your problem. Ghost of Butterfly says, I know pretty successful young women. Just a second here. I know pretty successful young women who have great who have a great job but are hundreds of dollars in student loan debt on top of getting a car loan. I'm just happy it's not my problem. I'm glad you can see it. You know how many people out there? I'm talking to you. If your student loan is older than your car loan, I'm talking to you, debt slave. If your student loan is older than the phone you're listening to this on, I'm talking to you. Am I coming through clear on your iPhone, your brand new 14? Am I coming through clear? Is this phone financed? I'm looking around. It smells and looks financed. And your student loans older than this phone? You're a debt slave. Yeah, you sure are. And you're holding a brand new phone and you're a debt slave. You probably ask yourself, how did I get this phone in my hand? I don't know, debt slave. How'd you do that? If your student loans are older than your phone, how do you have that phone in your hand, debt slave? So Club says, funny enough, the debt stretching thing that I predicted when the college debt erasing farce was happening. You know what? You're right. They stretch it, and you know, I like the way they worded this article. They call it a grace period. It's not stretching. I'm not saying you're saying it, Club, but I'm just saying in general the way they talk this make the article 3-month grace period. You guys are going to be all over. Oh yeah, that way I could save money for Christmas, and then Thanksgiving's coming up. Because listen, you guys don't see the bigger picture. Let's rewind a little. I'm gonna take you all the way back. Let's go all the way back. Okay. If they started, and this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion. If they started student loan payments right now, full force, no grace period or nothing, guess what that would ruin? Thanksgiving and Christmas. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It would ruin it. Why? Because you guys would have no money to spend. That would be bad. So now they say, hey, we're going to give you 3-month grace period like they really want to. No, they don't want to. They have to. Do they sacrifice Christmas? No, hell no. That's the most. Listen, debt slaves, you guys spend the most money on Christmas. You guys have this attitude, oh, I want my kids to have much better than I did. I'll make it up when my tax return. Hey, whatever you guys want to think, whatever, believe, whatever. Whatever. Yep, people will just get a home loan. Yep, so nothing is learned. That's all they'll do. Bananas, man. I'm happy. Listen, I'm just happy that I believed in myself. I thought getting out of debt, I was just going to be, hey, I got no more bills. Everything's great. No, I own myself. My whole life changes. You think I would have, if I didn't do that, I would have never known capitalism is psychological. Never. And what you guys don't know, the psychological is a language. Did you guys know? You know, of course not. You guys are debt slaves. You guys don't know that. And you'll never know that. Yep, it's a language. Sure is. You want to hear it? You want to know what makes the psychological? You want to see how it works? Huh? Try to say psychological without using the P in the beginning. Try to do it. Try to say psychological without using the P. Try it. I know you're thinking, well, huh? What do you mean? What? I don't know. What am I saying? I don't know. You want to hear some psychological language? You can't own equity in a mortgaged house. No one gets a finance car on sale. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You can't save for retirement while having a mortgage. You can't get a 401k match with student loan debt older than the match. That's called psychological. That's a psychological language. Get it? Now you're probably thinking, what do you mean I can't buy a house with a mortgage? According to the calculator says you can't buy a house with a mortgage. So how are you in it? If you can't buy a car with a car loan, how are you listening to me in your car? How you doing that? Here you've been calling yourself a homeowner for the last 10 years when you're really not. Why do you believe that? Because you have a psychological problem. That's what that is. If you got into a house during the student loan debt pause, guess what? You're out. You're not staying there anymore. That's done. You're probably thinking, well, what about all the money I put into this house for the last 2.5, 3 years? You didn't put in anything because you didn't have no money to buy it. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You never could. That's so funny. You hear a person getting their car repossessed, and they've had the car for like 3 or 4 years, and then they're mad because oh man, all that money I put into the car, you didn't put any money in. You were just making payments. The monthly payments on your car is so you can drive it. That's it. It's not your car. Put it this way, if your student loans are your oldest loans, guess what? Your whole financial life is a mathematical illusion. You don't own anything, not even yourself. And it's bad, debt slaves. It's horrible. I want to say them, but you're treating yourself that way because you're not, man. You figure say like this, you're a debt slave has a regular job. They get taxes taken out of their check. They can't write off nothing. You guys finance everything. You guys pay interest on everything. Every time you pull out a credit card to buy something, you're asking the bank for permission. So if you go to the grocery store and you pull out your credit card to pay for your groceries, hey bank, can you help me buy my groceries? Can you help me pay for my gas? Can you help me pay my utility bill? The bank is your daddy. Credit cards, listen, debt slaves, credit cards are buy now, pay later services. It's the same thing. Just credit cards have better interest rates and terms than buy now, pay later services. And if you have student loan debt right now and you're using buy now, pay later services, ooh, talking about bottom of the barrel debt slaves. Oh man. You better believe. Here's all the people that are happy. Here's all the people that are happy about the 3-month grace period. Apple, big companies. Now Apple sales won't be affected. Because guess where you guys are going to be spending your money since you got a 3-month grace period to pay your student loan debt? Apple. You know how happy businesses are right now? Oh my God. They are jumping for joy. Christmas time, all the businesses that prepare for Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of that's October, the Halloween, that's all money. Summertime. But the biggest one is after September, man. Apple Pay later. Oh, hey, Nick, they are going to be using the shit out of that. Apple's going to make so much money on their Apple Pay later. Ooh. Congratulations, Apple. Any Apple executives out there, I'm congratulating you guys ahead of time because I know you guys are popping bottles right now. I bet you a whole bunch of companies are popping bottles right now. Because nothing really happens in January. January is like a beginning, new, whatever, right? They are popping bottles. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's getting the money back. They're acting a century worth. Oh yeah, they're creating a century worth of slaves. Sure are. You guys. What's that? Let me see something. Hold up. Let me just 1 second here. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Remember the Washington Post video I sent you, LJ? Apple Pay later, man. Oh yeah, right. I mean, they make a joke. Listen, I couldn't. Gabriel sent me this video. I couldn't tell if they were joking or not. I was like, it's like an Apple Pay commercial. I couldn't tell if they were joking or not. I was like, is this funny or is this no? This is fake. And then I go look, it's Apple Pay. They are literally, listen, debt slaves, in commercials, they are literally making fun of you guys. Literally. Literally. Let me put this up here. All right. SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com is my email. My Cash App is SavingsMinusDebt. Hit that like button, please. SavingMinusDebt.com for a scheduled appointment for a consultation. All right. Any questions before I get out of here? It is 8:17. Any questions before I get out of here? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for joining today. Much appreciated. You guys can click on that link to read the full article. Luminon says the number of people in seen online who say they were able to buy their first home thanks to the payment. What? Oh, that you've seen online say they were able to buy their first home thanks to the pay. Right. Ain't that crazy? Thanks to the pause, I was able to afford a home. No, you're not. What are you talking about? That's not going to be your home very long. I promise you, it's not. If you signed up for a mortgage during the student loan payment pause, guess what? You got some bad news to tell your children. All the people you shared with, a housewarming party, you're going to have to tell them some bad news. A lot of you guys are going to make up a story. Oh, something happened, the paperwork, somebody lost a job, something you guys are going to make it up instead of saying we lost it because we couldn't make the payments because of student loan debt. Next thing you know, you're going to hear on the news, oh, we're going to lose our house because student loan payments are there. No. You guys already knew that was coming. Anyway. All right. What'd you say? People will blame the government when they will. They will blame the government, blame the president, blame. That's what debt slaves do. They don't know they own nothing. You guys, debt slaves, you guys are the currency. It's you. When you come to the positive side of the economy, you understand taxes help build wealth. They don't take away. The reason why you guys can't see, like when you're a debt slave and you have a regular job, the reason why you guys can't see taxes help build wealth, because you are participating in the economy as yourself. So when you contribute by working, the taxes have to come from you because that's how you're contributing to the economy with yourself. Now, if you create a business, guess who pays your taxes there? Your customers pay your taxes, not you. But when you have a job in debt, paying interest on everything, you can't write off nothing. You guys know how far deep in the hole you get and you can't do nothing about it? What's up, Andre? You guys are deep. What's up, tinfoil hat? Thank you, LJ, for all the knowledge. I'm done living in debt. No more financing anything. Congratulations, tinfoil. Most of you guys don't even, those of you along your journey, and I know some of you guys know the reason why you're doing, but you guys have no idea what happens when you get to zero. When you get to zero, you're going to have a whole different life. Everything changes. Your perspective of everything changes. If you're not at zero yet, it's going to be a long time before you understand that psychological is a language. When you get to that level, ooh, your mind's going to be like, what? In my face the whole time? In your face the whole time. Hidden in plain sight. Like when I go around town and see cars and houses and people's I know the majority of 99% of what I see, how everything is financed. It doesn't matter when the car payments make the driver irrelevant. That goes for cars, that goes for house, that goes for everything. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Good article. Thank you, Andre, for sending it my way. I was like, I had to read that a couple times. It's like you read through the lines, you're like, wait a minute, the interest is gonna start September 1st. Sure is. Payments start officially on October 1st. Sure do. You mean I don't have to pay for 3 months? You sure don't? You don't do that. No. We want you to spend that money elsewhere right now. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. You got to have money to spend on other stuff. You think they're going to... They cannot mess up Christmas. Christmas is the biggest money maker ever. You cannot mess up Christmas. You know, people have been telling me about that, and I'll probably just pop on I'm sure it's online somewhere. I'll probably just read it online. I'm sure it's just not said the way I said, because when I say the reason why I call capitalism, I say capitalism is psychological, split into two parts, positive and negative, because that is what math tells me. Math says capitalism is psychological. That's what math says. So, you know, when like minimalist, the richest man in Babylon, they're saying the same things. I'm sure everything's the same because it really is all math. They just don't say it the way I say it. That's all. I bet you can ask a rich person that understands what I'm saying. They will probably just say, I know what you're talking about, but I've never heard it said the way you say it. See the difference? Like if I came across a rich person that knew to stay out of personal debt, business debt is, you only have it for tax purposes. If you need it, whatever, right? But if I went up to that person and said, hey, I know capitalism, like blah, 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 they would say, oh, okay, you're right, but I just never heard it said that way. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, true. The book does say to start business after you get out of debt, for sure. The reason, and I'm gonna read it because the way he's saying stuff, the way you're describing it, because the reason why you do that, get out of debt first before you start a business, you will take care of business way different than 99% of the people in business today. Because when you see, like, if you had a job all your life, right, and you see somebody into business and it looks like they're making money, you really don't know if they're really making money or not. You don't know. So there's a few questions you can ask them. Like you can say, if they seem to be successful, right? Just say, hey, do you pay much in taxes in your business? if they like, oh my God, yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah, I pay a lot in taxes. And well, they're doing something wrong if they're paying a lot in taxes, because there's ways not to legally. You just got to know how to do it. What's up, Cosmic? I'm already noticing airline prices going down for the fall. They know people are going to be tight this winter. Sure is, but now they got a 3-month grace period, Cosmic. Now they can have 3 months before they start making their payments on January. So now that problem is resolved. Well, at least they believe it's going to be solved, but it's just kicking the can down the road. But this time they're not really kicking the can down the road. They're just, it's crazy how they're doing it. They're not really kicking it, but congratulations, man. They've been doing it. Hey, listen, it's been around. Capitalism been around here for a couple hundred years already, for in the United States at least. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Until next time, later.